I want to take you to Fox News Alert now. UC Berkeley is in turmoil tonight, real turmoil, as rioters set fires and forced the cancellation of a speech by writer Milo Yiannopoulos. Fox's Trace Gallagher has more on what's going on there tonight. Trace?
And if you look at these pictures, Tucker, you can see, I mean, these guys are burning flags. They are busting windows. Right now, the entire campus at UC Berkeley is on lockdown. The police are trying to disperse the crowd, but so far, they're not going anywhere. You can see the fire right there. The teachers or the administrators are up on top of the building trying to spray fire extinguishers down. This was all over a speech by Milo Yiannopoulos. As you said earlier, he, of course, is a Breitbart writer, and the push tonight was to start this push so that campuses like UC Berkeley that are considered sanctuary campuses, which means they harbor illegal immigrants, they will not work with the federal government when it comes to illegal immigrants. They were trying to start this push to get federal dollars taken away from these UC campuses. Anybody who does not know, Janet Napolitano, who is the former head of Department of Homeland Security, former Arizona governor, she is now the president of the UC system, and right after Donald Trump was elected, she made this push to start this sanctuary campus policy that they would not comply with the feds. And what the Republicans on campus and what this speech was about tonight was to try and get this campus and other UC campuses get federal dollars taken away from them if they are not going to abide by federal law. This speech was supposed to start tonight at around 6 o'clock. Well, they canceled it at 5 o'clock. The riots really began around that same time, and now you can see the crowd, it seems to be dispersing. Half the signs are anti-Milo signs, the other half are anti-Trump signs, so there's clearly a bigger issue going on here. The young Republicans on campus who are putting this thing on were told they could have the speaker, but they would have to pay the cost of the extra security, and they said fine. But of course, the protests, as you can see, have been ongoing now for a couple of hours, and police are having a difficult time trying to disperse this crowd.
Hi, Tucker. How are you?
I'm interested in what happened exactly. So tell us. Our understanding is you were set to give a speech at UC Berkeley tonight. You knew there were going to be protests, and then violence erupted, and you had to leave. Is that correct? And fill in the blanks for us.
Right. Well, we knew there would be protests from the social media activity. We knew from the police. I have a pretty good sense of when things are going to get a bit rowdy, and we knew that UC Berkeley was going to be a problem, not least because they have a big free speech problem. Obviously, it's a liberal campus, so they hate any libertarians or conservatives who dare to express an opinion on their campuses. They particularly don't like me. And so this evening we got into the building, started preparing for the show, and people started arriving in black clothes and masks. They were clearly carrying concealed shields and weapons and things. And then stuff started being hurled at the building. There were rocks being thrown, various other things being thrown at the building. Eventually, the ground floor was breached, and I was evacuated.
Who evacuated you?
My security detail. I have an excellent team of Navy SEALs, various other people, and some of the police from the, local area.
Tell me if I'm misreading this, but this looks like the nightmare scenario. This looks like political violence designed to squelch opinions the perpetrators of that violence disagree with. Am I reading it correctly?
That's exactly what it is. And what's particularly scary and should be particularly troubling is it not only happened on an American college campus, supposedly in the land of the free, these are these places where you should be able to engage with different ideas, places where you should be able to hear speakers. And students who come to my talks who don't necessarily agree with me but just want to hear the other side, they were prevented from doing so this evening by violence from the left that is terrified of anyone who they think might be persuasive or might be interesting or might take people with them. I am not, a scary far-right, neo-Nazi as some of the posters claim. They put those things on posters to try to legitimize their own violence against me and against my supporters. Instead, I'm just a sort of libertarian, gay, Trump-supporting provocateur who likes to, present interesting arguments. And we have good fun shows with huge sold-out audiences, very, very popular. I'm probably the hardest ticket on American college campuses. Students absolutely love me, but there's more loud just left that just cannot tolerate anyone popular on campus who does not subscribe to their own crazy views.
I guess the point isn't what your political views are. I would be every bit as outraged and afraid if I disagreed with your views, and I'm sure I do disagree with some of your views. That's hardly the point. The point is your political views were squelched by violence, and the irony, of course, is that people calling you a Nazi were using violence to intimidate you into shutting up, which seems like
well, of course, these are people.
Right.
No, this is exactly the same thing happened when my book was announced. My book shot to the top of the Amazon bestseller chart within 24 hours of being announced, and people were saying they were going to burn, calling me a fascist. They really don't appreciate the irony of that. And of course, if you don't agree with my position, you should be particularly worried about people on your own side trying to squelch this stuff with violence, because my whole thing is, the left is profoundly antithetical to free speech these days, does not want to hear alternative points of view, and will do anything to shut them down. My point is being proven to me over and over and over again.
It's remarkable. Milo, will you stay with us? We're going to reset into the Hannity Hour, but we want to keep you there. So I want you to stay with us. We've got breaking news in progress. We're going to be right back with live coverage of what's going on in Berkeley, California. It is violent, and it is unfolding as we speak. We've got Milo Yiannopoulos, the focus of this violence, on the phone with us. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just seconds. I want to open this with a Fox News alert. Massive protests and rioting have erupted at the University of California at Berkeley. Demonstrators have forced the cancellation of a speech by Breitbart News' Milo Yiannopoulos. Demonstrators have set fires, they burned vehicles, they launched fireworks at the building, threw rocks, tried to breach the doors in an effort to cause chaos, and that they did. They drove Milo, the speaker, from the scene. Police are apparently on the scene. We haven't seen them in the videos. We do have Milo Yiannopoulos by phone with us, though, right now. So, Milo, just to recap for viewers who are joining us right now, right at the top of the 10 o'clock hour Eastern time, we know you're out in California. Give us just a quick recap of what just happened.
Absolutely. Well, I have a college talk, which is very popular, always oversubscribed, and people love to come and listen to my contention that free speech is under serious threat on American college campuses from the progressive left, from the social justice left. Well, once again, and we had similar things happen at UW Seattle and UC Davis, they have proven me right. Violent left-wing protesters stormed the building and forced me to be evacuated by police and by my security detail this evening, preventing me from giving the last speech in my tour, which was supposed to be exactly about this problem. So, heavily ironic and very, I think, self-defeating for the social justice left.